Hello and welcome back to the ranch. I hope you're having a good Friday. Chicken math is in full swing. Incubators hatched again. This is my second round of doing chicken incubators. I emptied it, the second one, this is my second time of the second incubator. I emptied it about 36 hours ago and then had more hatch. And I've got one more that's still working on it. I don't know if it's gonna make it, it's kind of stuck, but it's doing its thing. We'll see what happens. So I'm gonna put these guys in the incubator. They're very cute. I did some white and some blue eggs this time. So hopefully we get some blue egg layers and just like some different colors. I've done a lot of brown egg layers, which is fine. But you know, I want like the rainbow and stuff. So I will be again continuing to sell chickens and keeping some for myself as well. This one's got little chubby cheeks. It's got cheeks. I am going to be putting some duck eggs in the incubator. So that's kind of my next. Oh, this one's like got a little stripe on its head. That's cool. Okay, so when I put them in, I dip them in the water so that they get a drink, so they learn how to drink. They need a little help with their first time. Ooh, this one toppled over. These chicks are growing like crazy, and so they are going to get moved to the chicken run here in the next day or so, as soon as I get a few minutes to do that project. Kind of the plan for today's video is we're just going to kind of hang out for about an hour or so, and I'm going to try and just knock off a few things on my to-do list. I always forget, like I know this is gonna happen, but like also at the same time, I forget how busy the month of May is on the ranch. Like we're still finishing calving. I'm waiting on my other sheep to lamb. Gardens are up and going, kinda, like working on getting them planted. Kids are so busy at the end of the school year. Like I have field day for Lincoln and school picnic and stuff here in just a couple of hours. And so I'm trying to like do all these things. We had an orchestra concert. Grace needs to do birthday treats. Like we got to finish up the school year, which they're done here shortly. Like they are, what, like 10 days away from being done with school or something like that. Like we're not to single digits yet, but we're close. So just absolutely insanely crazy busy and stuff. Like I'm so glad that the weather is nice and like I'm happy to be busy. And I always like calving's busy, but it's kind of like your singular focus. And now it's like gardens and high tunnel and plant and harvest and baskets and calving, and we're gonna turn on summer water and like school and just like all the things. So May is kind of one of the hardest months here on the ranch. And I also have, like, we're gonna get the goat pen done here in the next week or so. And so it's just like the to-do list just keeps getting longer. And, you know, then it's like, I gotta mow the yard. I didn't have to do that during calving. So the kids want the pool set up. It's all right. We just do all the things, and we do as many things as we can do every single day, and we just keep putting stuff on the next day. The list just transfers, but that's all right. I am making progress. I'm gonna show you the high tunnels because I need to open a high tunnel because it's warm out and we don't want things to cook. The spring tunnel has really taken off in the last few days, and it looks really good. I am super happy with how things are growing. Lettuce is gonna get harvested next week. Turnips are coming along. I did have my first veggie basket of the year for Edible Prairie Project, and we harvested radishes, and we cut this bed of spinach. I did chives. They got eggs. What else did we do? Microgreens. That's what the basket was. The baby bok choy is super cute. Scallions are coming along. Everything looks really good. We're going to get summer water turned on, so that will make my life a lot easier. Every year I have a part-time farmhand for Edible Prairie Project, my nonprofit, and so she did start a couple weeks ago. Martha is our newest team member. She's doing great. She's doing a really fantastic job and helping with all the things and learning all the things. And so she's 20 hours a week to help in the gardens, and so that's extremely helpful. And because I am in like veggie basket season for Edible Prairie Project, we're doing 26 veggie baskets every single week through the month of May. So she's helping with harvest and weeding, and she was like working on the summer high tunnel yesterday. We'll be planting next week. So it's super helpful to have another set of hands. I did see that question of like, this is like a lot of work for you and Jeff. I do have Martha, 20 hours a week on the nonprofit side of things. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it is just me and Jeff. Kids help out a little bit. They want to help in the farm store some this summer, but it is just a juggling game. It is do all the things, prioritize the things that need to be done, and just like I said, just work through that to-do list every single day. I did move all of my stuff out from the grow room. There's a few trays, I guess, in there still. But cabbages, which just barely have all come up, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that. But like tomatoes, they're a little spindly. They needed some sunlight. Those are eggplant. But yeah, all of this stuff, that's how much stuff needs to get planted, plus all the direct seeding. And there is a few trays still in the grow room. There are multiple water wells on the ranch that are used for like different things and stuff. And so in the wintertime, I have the well that supplies the house and the houses and the shop, and I hook up to that for irrigation when I start planting in March. But I think one of my peacocks is at the neighbor's house. I'm so sorry. I don't know where he's at, but I hear him. The summer water well waters the cows in the summertime down on summer pasture, and then it also does like our yard irrigation for both myself and my mom, and then it also does all the gardens. And when all this was kind of put in, it was kind of like, I started with one outdoor garden. I didn't think it was going to turn into like what it has turned into today. So it's not frost free. Some of it is laying on top of the ground, and so it can't get turned on until we're past our last frost date. Our last frost date is May 20th. We're not quite there yet, but the forecast looks fine. We're good to go. If I need to, I can turn it off. I won't need to like blow it out. I'll just need to like drain the system. So I'm standing at the manifold. Jeff is up in the hayfield at the well house up there. My job is very complicated and very technical. It's to make sure that nothing's leaking and nothing blows apart when he turns this on. This well does have a lot of PSI, which is great. But I also use drip irrigation, which I have to put pressure reducers on everything. But I used to use overhead water in the outdoor gardens. I switched to drip a couple years ago so that I wasn't watering dirt and non-growing space. Obviously rain but it helps tremendously with the weeds when you switch to drip irrigation. So I see Jeff is up there. I'll show you where the well house is at and show you what like I'm looking at. There's the well house. There's a pit, there's a well house, there's a tank, there's a hydrant. Maybe we'll go up there someday. But there is a line that comes down, just runs on top of the ground, comes down here. This is all a mess that has to get cleaned up for springtime. Oh, I hear water, comes into here. And then this is my manifold that directs water everywhere. We've got water. Oh, actually, I'm gonna flush this out. This well's real rusty. This gets taken apart in the wintertime, and so we just always have to make sure, obviously, that the connection is tight. See all that rust? So yeah, flush that out and not put that into my system. More rust will continue to like come out, but we might as well like let the line run just a little bit. Lots of air always comes out. Why did we quit? Okay, well that's maybe potentially problematic. Let me message Jeff and see what happened up there. Jeff and I had a miscommunication. I put my arm up and was like, good job, it's working. He thought that meant something was wrong, so he turned it off. So he's gonna go back up there and turn it back on. So nothing's wrong. Everything's working as it should. Dandelions are one of the first foods that are available for honeybees. And so if you have dandelions in your yard, just let them be. Let the bees have them. They really like them. There is no real other food sources for them yet. But we do mow. It's not like I don't mow and stuff, but I don't get super stressed about dandelions because the bees need to eat too. There we go. We got water again. I can hear it. I'm checking all of the different hydrants that I have. Oh, look, a rainbow. Yeah, those are all working. Those two that stick up down there, which I don't really, well, I guess I do use those. That's where I connect the drip to for the big garden that is a disaster still. All the outdoor gardens are not worked on yet. But yeah, that's all working. We're gonna head to the high tunnel and see if that's working. I'm in the summer high tunnel. Martha worked really hard on this week. She did a great job and got this all cleaned out. Like all the dead tomatoes and stuff were still in here. So I grow tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers in here in the summertime. So, and in landscape fabric, as you can see. So she cleared off all the dead plant material and pulled up all the staples. And I just need to finish getting this cleaned off, roll it up, and then put compost in and till it, and then plant it and put the drip back. So, you know, just like a few things, but this will probably get planted next week. That's the goal. 2 high tunnels. This was my original high tunnel, which was built in like 2014, and then I think that one was in 2018. And there are 2 hydrants in this high tunnel, and they are frost-free. There's one down there as well, but the line connecting them is not. That's a pressure reducer for the drip. But I'm gonna turn these on and see, because along with all the different lines, there's also like a valve system. And so we gotta make sure. Hey, it's working. And it splashed me. We'll let all that rust run out. Look at that. Ugh. That line has now been flushed and the water coming out is clear, and now I can hook up my irrigation to the spring high tunnel. I just ran a garden hose from the summer high tunnel to the spring high tunnel. Highly technical irrigation, but hey, it works. Let's turn it on and see if it leaks. My goal always is to have no leaking, because any place that there's a water source, even if it's just a drip, it'll grow weeds. And like you can see there's weeds. Obviously when it rains and stuff, like ground moisture and stuff seeps in the edge of the high tunnel, but we try and keep as much moisture out as possible to eliminate the weeds. Looks like we don't have any drips. That's awesome. The hose runs along the south side of this high tunnel. There's my little baby cabbage, my lettuce. Comes up here, and then here is my manifold for the timer and all my different zones. This does leak. I know this leaks. It's on my list of things to fix. And the time is not set properly. It is not 10:43 at night. It is 10:18 in the morning. I need to change out the batteries in here. But I'm gonna go ahead and run this because it's gonna be hot today. It's not super dry in here. But now that I have water hooked up and I'm not having to like disconnect a hose and everything, I will change the batteries and get this actually programmed. But I will run this every day. When it's running, it doesn't drip, and I usually put a little bucket under there to catch the water. Usually you can hear it when it kicks in. That's the neighbors. That's my peacock. He's looking at himself in the reflection of their trailer. So that's fun. I think I have a turkey sitting on a nest somewhere, and I haven't been able to find her, but Martha and I were standing at the back of the summer high tunnel. Look at, ignore the mess, okay? That's working on that. But we were standing back there, and she came trotting along. There's this little bit of a space between the high fence and the wooden fence, and she just came trotting along that little like alley there, and she had an egg in her mouth, like a broken egg. I don't know if she was like cleaning up her nest, if one broke or something. It was like just a normal egg, like a yolk. There wasn't like half a chick or anything in it, but I haven't been able to find her. But I think I have a turkey sitting on a nest somewhere. Drip tape is working. We are watering. The trays I will have to hand water. I watered them, I just moved them out last night. So I did water them before they came out. They will probably need watered again this afternoon. But they are gonna, start hardening off, get ready to be transplanted. The cabbage and broccoli and stuff, it'll be a couple weeks for them. So they'll get some more leaves and get a little stockier. But the tomatoes definitely needed to go out, tomatoes and peppers. They needed some actual sunlight and not just grow room light. So this will help them quite a bit. It's kind of like one of the most perfect like spring days. There's not much of a breeze. So typically if there's a breeze, I don't have to open up the sides yet, but because there isn't a breeze, I'm gonna go ahead and open these up just a little bit. I do strap these in the winter to keep the roll-up sides from like flapping because there is no way to secure these. This is what I've done. I know other people have done other things, but this is what works for me, is just straps and clips and bungees and stuff. But I am just gonna crack the sides. I'm not gonna take any straps off because at nighttime still, like, I need to have it closed up. But just a little bit of ventilation will help keep the temperature more manageable in there today. There's a bit of a like cross breeze. There's just not like any breeze coming in the end walls. There we got some ventilation on both sides. End walls are open. It's still gonna be hot in there, but that'll keep it so it's not like scorching, dying. Summer high tunnel is also opened up. This bar, the roll-up bar, is actually broken down there. I gotta get that fixed this summer. Actually, both of these covers are gonna come off and get replaced this summer. So I have 2 new covers. I'm gonna be putting them on at some point this summer. I will probably take covers off Actually, the spring high tunnel could come off here pretty soon. I'll wait until we get kind of through my veggie baskets for Edible Prairie Project, but we'll be taking those off. They have lasted a very long time. I think I put them both on, oh gosh, like 2018, 2019, something like that. So they've done really well. Both of my high tunnels are premium round high tunnels from FarmTech. They are 30 foot wide, 72 foot long. The end walls were custom done with roll-up garage doors in them. And then the plastic is not 6 mil greenhouse plastic, which is what typically greenhouses, high tunnels are covered with. High tunnels have 1 layer of plastic, greenhouses have 2 layers of plastic, and then they also usually typically have like temperature control, so like heat and cooling, and there's a blower in between the layers of plastic that inflates it, and so you get a little air cushion, which helps insulate. But anyhow, typically it comes with 6 mil plastic. That's what I used for a few years. Had a horrible time keeping plastic on with our 70-mile-an-hour winds, and so I switched to this like woven plastic. It has a little bit less light transmission, but it's like 11.2 mil and it's woven, so it's more like tarp-like. It's done much better. And so when it does get like a wear spot from wind and friction and stuff, like it doesn't just bust and create a kite. So I have bought the same type of plastic, going to replace that this summer. If you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know. It's not like a horribly hard thing to do. The wind has to cooperate. That's the biggest problem because it's Wyoming. I get to have my first harvest of the year for the farm store today. So typically the agreement between my farm and Edible Prairie Project, the nonprofit side of my life, is that 60% of the produce is slated for veggie baskets for Edible Prairie Project EPP programming, and so we share. And that's why like I can have a farmhand for EPP, and like I obviously work and stuff too. So everything in the high tunnel, like 60% of it goes to EPP programming. But it's kind of just like a give and take, very fluid relationship. And it only really works because I'm the executive director and co-founder. It wouldn't necessarily work if it was like somebody else. But we share space. And it's worked really well, and it's something that will continue in the future. And the hope is that Edible Prairie Project will eventually have its own farm, and we're working towards that. But in the meantime, we co-share. But there are certain spaces that are not Edible Prairie Project, so they're mine. And this space between the high tunnels is like my perennial fruit and vegetable bed. So I have things that come back every single year. The main one being asparagus, and then I also have garlic, and I'll show you guys all the stuff. There's strawberries that are just for like the kids, like Grace picks them, and then herbs and rhubarb over here. But asparagus is always one of the first crops to come up, and it's a great spring vegetable. We get a 6-week harvest on it, and then after that you have to let it just rest and put energy back into its crowns. So I did my first harvest a few days ago before it got real cold. I've harvested twice. We ate some, it was great. Tastes a lot different when it's fresh than in the grocery store, like has a lot more flavor. It's really good, but I need to get this all cleaned up. I did some the other day. This is what grows afterwards. And so I did like snap all these off, prune them off, but the wind was blowing like 30. So I didn't haul them out because it was just a losing battle. And the wind kind of blew most of them into a pile. There's a bunch of weeds and stuff in here. We're ignoring that. We can harvest the asparagus because it grows out of the ground like a stick. See? And so we just snap it off at the base and clean, sanitized bin. So let's harvest, and then I can get this washed and get it in the farm store today. Ignore the weeds. We'll get there. But yeah, it grows up out of the ground like that. That's not a great example. There's some that's not weedy, and you can see. This is the garlic. I plant garlic in the fall. And then it had straw on top of it. It still has some straw, but a lot of the straw blew away. That happens. But it's up and doing really well. I have purple asparagus as well as green asparagus. And the reason why is I put in the 300 crowns of green asparagus one year, and then we had some die. And there's like a harvest window that happens. And so the first year you don't harvest it at all. Second year you harvest for 7 days. Third year you harvest for 2 weeks. And then you can harvest for your 6 weeks. And so I needed to be able to tell which was old stuff and which was new. And so I went with the purple so I didn't have to like try and mark it and flag it and have stuff blow away. Anything that's like funky or weird also gets snapped off. When it first comes up, you get the fatter stalks of asparagus, and then as you continue to harvest it, it gets skinnier towards the end of the season. And once it gets to be about the thickness of a pencil, and that 6-week mark, kind of all happens at the same time. If your bed is well taken care of and fertilized and whatnot, then we quit harvesting. So I've got lots of weeks of asparagus, which is great. I did think I was going to lose it because it got down to 32 the other day, and it is cold tolerant, but it can die if it gets too cold. But it will just, like, you just trim off the stuff that freezes and then it'll come back up. It'll keep sending up shoots. But this is what it looks like when it first comes up. It's actually like white because there's no UV to make photosynthesis happen. So that's how you get white asparagus, is it's grown in the dark. But that's how it comes up. It's a weird looking plant. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all harvested, and I'll show you how much I have at the end. This is how much asparagus I got. That's a ton. This is probably the biggest harvest of asparagus I've ever gotten. It's definitely like an investment crop. Like, it takes a while to get it going and get it established. But it's definitely worth it in the long run because it'll be here for years to come. I think after you hit like the 10-year mark, it kind of starts to decline in productivity. So like years like 4 to 5 to 10 are super productive. And I'm like right in that window, which is great. So I really enjoy having asparagus. It has to be harvested every single day. That's kind of the one downside to it. It grows ridiculously fast when it's warm and sunny like today. So probably even by the end of the day, there would be more that I could harvest. The kids help me a lot with this. They like doing it, especially Grace. So she really does a lot in here. Asparagus, strawberries. She hangs out with me. So I will get the weeds out. I'm replacing all of the drip tape. It's getting new tape. And so that'll all get pulled out. I'm going to put some landscape fabric down to help my weed situation, at least in like the walkways. So some work to be done out here. And then once that gets done, I will actually fertilize everything so that it can stay healthy and strong and vigorous throughout our 6-week harvest period. Springtime in Wyoming is always like a roller coaster of weather. Like Tuesday when I filmed, I had a vest and everything on and a hoodie. And today I am hot and not used to it. It's only like going to be in the 70s, but that's a lot when it was like 32 the other morning. So I got to spend a lot of time outside and get acclimated just like I do in the fall, but I'll get there. It is warm. I'm going to go enjoy field day with my kids. It's Lincoln's field day, school picnic, all the things. So gonna get school wrapped up here soon. Gonna keep working in the gardens. Gonna finish up calving. Gonna keep selling beef and produce and whatnot. So we're really getting ramped up and into full speed. I feel like we've been there for a while, but as we go throughout the seasons, as you know, like things change on the ranch, the work changes based upon the time of the year. So I will keep you updated with calving as that continues to happen and we finish up those last few. And we're gonna build a goat pen. That's on the to-do list for next week as well. So this is a super diversified ranch with a lot of different things. And so I'm committed to showing that to you guys throughout the summer and as like the focus changes and stuff. And like, I get it, not everybody loves the garden content. It was my first passion on the ranch, was the gardens and the chickens and stuff like that. It still is. I love the cows. I love calving season. I love raising beef to sell to you guys and to my local community, and produce and stuff is a part of that. And I mean, I've created a whole nonprofit based around it and stuff. And so I am super passionate and love the gardens and spend a lot of time out here in the summer. So you guys will be tagging along. Not every video will be gardening, just like last summer. Not every video was gardening. we'll still do lots of animal stuff too. But I'm gonna get this into the farm store. First asparagus harvest of the year. Well, it's not, but you know, first harvest for sale. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you on Tuesday. If it applies to you, happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a great weekend. Call your mom, okay? That's important. I'm gonna do some stuff with my mom. I gotta talk to her. I gotta find out what she wants to do. But yeah, we're gonna hang out, have some plans with the kids. It's gonna be a really beautiful weekend here on the ranch. I'm gonna have the kids help me set up the pool. It'll be a few weeks till they can swim in it, but it's too cold. But we're gonna get some of that stuff done and spend some time together. So I hope you also have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday.